Am I the asshole for telling my ex he would have to cook and clean if he wanted to live with me after our baby was born? I don't, the helpful award. Look at that. So, my ex has never had to cook or clean for himself. He has always had someone else to do it for him. I know he can cook at least one dish, though, since he did it during one of our previous dates. You have lived, or you've been in a relationship with this person long enough, they're still in your life, even if they're an ex. You know he can cook one dish because he made it on one of your dates? Tell me one thing about this human being. It's like you know nothing about them? I don't understand. It could be ramen with egg, super salad. Right now I'm 6 months pregnant and my ex wants us to live together. I thought, okay, here's what I thought, okay? In my head, I thought it was they dated this person, let's say 2013. They broke up afterwards. They remained in contact. This person then had a relationship with somebody else. They are having a child together, but for some Three's Company, two guys, a girl, in a pizza place type reason, he's like, I'm getting evicted. Can I live with you guys for a bit? And here's where it happens. But I'm not the master of relationships, but I would say a good test for whether or not you should have a baby with somebody is, can you name things that they can cook? Can you name anything about their personality? Like, for example, you're having a human being with another person. You don't know if he can do anything but cook one dish as he did it during one of our previous dates. Like, you don't have an intimate awareness of this person, their life, their hobbies. That's all I'm trying to get at. Is the cooking thing is just a symptom of the greater cause, which is like you don't seem to know enough about this person to comfortably be having a child with them. But anyway, right now I'm 6 months pregnant. My ex wants us to live together for the first year of our son's life. I agreed because he had a good argument, and I know I'm going to be glad for the help. That's fair. Things were fine until he told me he thought I should move in with him now instead of closer to my due date. I told him I wouldn't move in with him if he wanted to live together. He would have to move in with me. He argued against it and kept insisting things would be better for the both of us if we lived in his home since he had more space and neither of us would have to worry about cooking or cleaning. Eventually he did agree and then gave me a list of requirements his cook had. Is this like a my roommate situation when actually what you're saying is my mom? Or is this like, is this Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey? I don't know. No, he's rich. Okay. So I asked him what that had to do with me. Eventually he did agree. He gave me a list of requirements his cook had. The cook has requirements for the diner? There's so many. I'm getting stunlocked too much, but I am just confused. Like every sentence kicks up a little dust that gets in my eye, and I go, what? I was confused, so I asked him what that had to do with me. He told me then that his cook would have to work in my kitchen while he was living with me. You have two apartments. Mom apartment, dad apartment, house, whatever. When mom moves to dad house, chef from dad house has to cook in mom house and then bring it other way. He's moving. He's moving into her house and bringing his personal chef. Okay, well then this makes more sense. It's not that confusing then. Okay, all right. His cook would have to work in my kitchen while he was living with me, so I needed to make sure I had everything ready for him. I told him I hadn't agreed to that. Just fucking look, I get it. You're 6 months pregnant. Life's hard, you know? It's annoying. You're getting a personal chef. What are the requirements? It's probably going to be like have some spices, have some cookware. Like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. He then told me his cook would have to work in my kitchen. Okay, I told him I hadn't agreed to that. He brushed it off by making a joke about us still having to eat and him not being one of those jerks who expects me to do everything right after giving birth. I told him no, and he asked me who was going to do the cooking and cleaning if I was refusing his offer to have help. I told him we would split it 50-50 like normal people. He got annoyed, told me he didn't have time to cook or clean, and that I shouldn't be doing it right after giving birth. It turned into an argument, which basically ended when I told him he would have to cook and clean if he wanted to live with me after our son was born. He told me he would think about it in an angry tone. Hasn't spoken with me since. Are you stupid? You get what? Like, you... I think she's being unreasonable. And I didn't expect to come into this situation thinking that. He's handling the cooking and the cleaning by paying for it. And he's not ordering McDonald's from DoorDash every night. It just sounds like you've got a personal chef. I'm assuming you're eating good, healthy meals. Like, I just don't understand why you're like, he played it off with a joke and said, we still have to eat, and I don't want you to do it right after you have the baby. And she was like, you think that's funny, asshole? Like, it sounds like he's actually being like kind of an accommodating guy, quite frankly. It's like this guy's going to work and he's going, wow, my ex-girlfriend, she's 6 months pregnant. She's having this baby soon. I got her like a personal chef and a housekeeper, and she told me, no, I have to do it. Daryl. I looked this woman dead in her optic stems. It just seems unreasonable. Just in case people ask, I don't want the cook and cleaner to come to my house because my home is small and it will get overcrowded, since I know both of our families are going to be over a lot. I feel like the cook and cleaner is just a stepping stone. He has way more people who run his household, and I feel like he is too dependent on them, so he will expect me to be okay with them working in my home too. See, it isn't hard to clean my home. It's small, and cooking for two doesn't take. Am I the asshole? Is this like a... Look, I think this is a situation of you're letting pride get the better of you, okay? I don't mean to be rude. It sounds like you live in a smaller place, and he lives at Monticello. I kind of feel like you should just... Well, I mean, I guess there's a couple of things worth pointing out maybe that are defensible for her. Hello. You can show me, but let's not put it on camera.
So the morning.
Oh no, the baby's at daycare right now. She's a little upset.
No, that's this morning.
Yeah.
And then she was playing very well.
Okay. Hey.
And then.
She's in the stroller. It looks like she's in prison right now. It's very cute, though.
And then she's napping right now.
Whoa, Pog?
Isn't that crazy?
I can't believe that she
has never napped by herself, ever. Today's the first time.
That's huge, Pog.
And she's hugging a piglet. Look at it. So cute, right?
Let's go.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know that last one, but...
It's just like really dark.
Yeah. Yo, napping's supposed to be like the hardest part.
Yeah.
Is she the only one there today?
I think so.
How does that happen?
Snoozers.
They're all scared of the bomb cyclone. I'm telling you. I was driving today. It was little atmospheric missiles trying to strike me.
Was it bad?
No, not at all.
I told you.
It's just like it was raining a little bit.
Let me fix that.
Okay. She's fixing the Crash Bandicoot NFT. Yeah, there's an atmospheric river too. It's kind of dangerous here right now. We're being spared most of it up here. Yeah, Kate's gonna save it with super glue. We're gonna re-collateralize it. Anyway, like I can understand why the mother would not want to just be completely dependent on someone that she doesn't want to spend her life with. Like maybe she doesn't want to be in a relationship with this guy long term. So to like move into his house and get used to, living in the manor and having everybody take care of you, and then later maybe you feel like that takes away some of your freedom to be like, later, like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. But it does sound like she's being a little like too prideful. I mean, honestly, everything in her post makes it sound like he's like a nice guy. And she is just being unreasonable. Like, I don't understand why he needs to be the one to clean if he handles the cleaning and the cooking through a different avenue. It's very strange to me. But there is some divisiveness. No question about that. It is one of those things. I'm surprised how many rich people take their problems to Am I the Asshole? Where I'm like, haven't you gotten the memo yet? Nobody wants to hear about this. Like, you're already, whether you're the asshole or not the asshole, the majority of people that read this are going to hate you and be like, this isn't a real problem. Have you not learned that lesson by now? Like, are you nouveau riche? You're the asshole. I can understand wanting to stay at your own place, but why are you trying to control how your ex eats? If he's in a position where he can afford a personal cook, there's zero reason for you to forbid him from doing what he always does. Your reasoning makes no sense. If you're not comfortable with having the cook in your place, then your ex is right. You should go live at his place. As soon as the baby arrives, you're going to be so happy to not only have your ex there, but also glad you don't have to worry about cleaning and cooking. This all tracks for me, IMO. Sorry, I couldn't finish reading this. Don't move in with your ex. Sorry, I couldn't finish reading this, but by the way, I am going to reply as if I had read it all. He's an ex for a reason, and having a kid together is a terrible reason to cohabitate. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's kind of like a pretty good reason to cohabitate. A bad reason to cohabitate would be, you're close to your favorite coffee shop. A bad reason to cohabitate would be maybe it makes it easier for you to get to the transfer station on the subway line. Being supportive of, the mother of your child after she has a baby is like probably one of the best reasons to cohabitate. Tell him you've changed your mind and you'll work on a visitation schedule through the courts after birth. What is wrong with people, man? These people want to live their whole lives at the courts. This is the same. I've talked about this before in my life. People have such a big old, like, veiny hard-on for contracts. Hey, my boss wrote into my contract in fine print, if you sign this, I get to steal your blood. People are like, did you read the contract? Well, then too bad. Don't care, didn't ask. Sounds like you're reaping what you sowed, honey. It was in the contract. Everything in the contract is totally fine. It's just, they have an amenable relationship right now. It sounds like they're having a great communication. You didn't even read the damn post. And you're like, take him to court. For what? I don't even know why. Like, regardless, we don't need to get involved with all the lawyers. That's what Big Boy said in Roses, remember? And judges, just to hold grudges in the courtrooms. I want to see your support brought, then I'll support you. The philosophy of Sir Lucius Leftfoot. I can't believe people are upvoting someone suggesting having to get a court order to see his own child when all he's done is ask to be involved and offer a cook/cleaner. I can't believe all the people in here can't see the red flags surrounding this man. Source, I watched 3 seasons of You on Netflix. Run, honey. It's just, there's so much headcanon, man. Okay, sure, yeah, that's fair. Everybody sucks here. He's your ex, you're no longer together. I don't think bad of a person who's well off enough to have a cook and a cleaner. It's their life, good for them. You said, I'm not going to be glad for the help. So does it matter if the help comes from his maid and cook? Nope. My view is that he has the bigger space. So why don't you want to move there instead of cramming into a smaller space? It seems you're going to do that in a larger space would be better, and you can get away from each other instead of crammed inside of a smaller place. You can rent your own space for the year and make some cash for you. This is not the topic either, just my view. It's a little crazy, man. Space, 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 box, box, box. I can't deal with this, man. It's too much. It's just like, if you spend, I think this is real, okay? Like, I honestly think, I have a hunch. Let's not make this too scientific. I think that there will be studies in future decades, maybe not for a long time, but that will show that the psychological impact of spending too much time on social media is like the damage is akin to like alcohol abuse. I'm not saying that Twitter, Reddit is worse than being an alcoholic because there's also the physical effects. I'm just saying, like, on a psychological level, like what reading this stuff does to your brain. Like, I'm primed to like, now I'm reading this and now my worldview is that everybody else out there is simply like that Delphi machine learning moral bot that looks at every situation through the I can't say that word, epistemological lens of, is this right, is this wrong? And if somebody's on the wrong, then it doesn't matter to the magnitude. They're just like, fuck you, I'll see you in court. It's crazy. Like, I get that this is a subreddit for judging that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, the fact that there's no, at least in the top upvoted posts, there's nobody that's like, hey, I think you did a wrong thing, but I can understand why you did it. Instead, the top post is the most insane person you've ever met, who's like, you need to turn yourself in immediately. Why do you hate your son? Do you not think that children need sleep? You woke him up for 25 minutes to meet someone who you probably were naively in love with, let's be honest. But at the same time, I can understand why you would feel that way. Like, yeah, I guess the normal people are out here just like living their lives. This is what I mean. It's like when you spend too much time on Twitch or Reddit or Twitter, you start to think that like everybody that you see on Earth is like this. It's not true. It's probably like 20% of the world's population. Most of them are only like this when they're online. When they're in real life, they're like, yes, sir, thank you, sir. I'm very sorry, very sorry. Oh, you won't believe what happened to me. This is ridiculous today. Some boomer walked in front of me. Can you believe it? I don't know. It was, it's just crazy, man. We gotta get along. Oh, here we go. Am I the asshole? My ex is mad because I deleted her old Animal Crossing off my Switch. My ex is mad because I deleted her Animal Crossing game off my Switch. We ended our relationship mid-last year. She moved out of my house back in April. She wanted to buy my Switch because it had her island on it. I said no, based. So she asked me not to delete her island. She would get another Switch and move it over. I deleted the game off my Switch so I could make room for Mario Kart that I could play with my friends. It's been 6 months since she left, not to mention that she didn't play it for about a month or two before she moved out, but it was plenty of time for her to have gotten another Switch. She just messaged me upset because I guess she tried to play my Switch and found I deleted the game. Am I the asshole? P.S. She's at my house watching our sick kid while I'm at work because she has the day off. What the hell, man? I thought you were like 18 years old. I guess you still could be. It's less likely. But you were like kind of a dick before. But perhaps justifiable and who cares? But then the last sentence, like, oh, by the way, she's watching our sick kid right now, is not good. I gotta think. So I'm just trying to think about this, okay, in my head. The edit is kind of irrelevant. It just reflects poorly on you for no reason whatsoever. Look, I hate to be the info guy, but like, what size is Animal Crossing, right? Like, you couldn't have deleted anything else. Usually there's like 4 things. You got to delete one of them. Nobody's saying you can't play Mario Kart with your friends, but like, yeah, plus the November 5th update is coming. I'm just saying. You know, I feel like I'm not necessarily saying this is a you're the asshole. I'm just saying, like, you could have avoided this whole conflict. Also, I'll just be honest. Like, this makes me the asshole for sure. But, like, you have a kid, like, shut the fuck up about your Animal Crossing island. Or, like, I had to delete it, honey, to play Mario Kart with my friends. Like, you have a baby or a child. Like, I'm not saying you can't be a gamer and also have kids. Like, you really posting on Reddit about, like, oh, my ex-girlfriend's mad I deleted her Animal Crossing island? Like, just, like, shut up and contribute to your Roth IRA, man. It's like, it's so minor. I always just put myself in the... People get emotional for things that are to some extent outside of their control in the moment, and only later when, you know, cooler heads prevail can you be like, okay, like, I'm sorry about that, okay? But I always put myself back, like, imagining if, like, I was 8 and, like, my mom was like, you know, oh, did you delete my Animal Crossing island? I just can't imagine it, is basically what it's okay. So someone in chat said, you have a child, stop caring about other things. I mean, that's not necessarily what I mean, but it's like when you have a child, you know, the importance of other things in your life are adjusted to a huge degree of, like, relativity. You know, like, I hate to say it, but there's that Tom Segura bit, which is like, you know, before I had a kid, I thought that I loved my dog, you know, and I did, but now that I have a kid, like, I think in his words, he says, like, if the dog hurt my kid, I would strangle them with my bare hands and look at my child for approval, right? Like, it reworks things in your life where you're like, you know, if Animal Crossing's like up here and then you have a baby, maybe Animal Crossing doesn't, like, move too much, but the scale completely changes. Like, the y-axis totally changes. It just is it seems like a petty problem for, you know, you to come crying to Reddit about for validation at this point. I'm not even really mad at the ex for being mad about the island being deleted. I'm more like, come on, dude, you've like sired an offspring and you're like, hold on, I need the internet to tell me I'm a good guy. Like, just suck it up. It's just, I don't know, man. It's weird to me, okay? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, plus save data is different from game data, man. You couldn't have just deleted the game, preserved the save? It's crazy. We have a newly reconstituted Crash Bandicoot NFT.
There's still one piece missing, one flick of hair.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. Probably in the garbage can. Oh. Look at that. Now it's not 29 of 65. Now it's like a 1 of 1.
It's kind of fixed.
Let's go. Thank you.
Just making sure, because it's just the hair piece.
You can't see what I'm seeing, chat, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. I don't think it's going to be back. It happened like a month ago. It was probably like a blue piece of plastic. I threw it in the garbage can. She's missing, or it's missing like a little tuft of hair on the side. I'm not sweating it too much. This is the newfound freedom we get when our daughter is actually in daycare. You know, for hours every morning. It's nice. It's opening our lives up a little bit for sure. If I'd known the amount of labor that would go into preserving this thing that I got sent in the mail, like without even giving my permission to Activision. Oh, jeez. But you know what? It's 'tis better to have loved and lost and reloved than to have never loved at all. All right, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I just want. I'm a glutton for punishment, man. Like I need to click on this and like see an essay. I need to see an essay to feel whole. Not the asshole. Would have been nice to let her know, but by no means a requirement. That seems fair. Why does your ex have access to your Switch? Delete Facebook, hit the gym, and lawyer up. You're the asshole? I was going to say not the asshole until I saw you were co-parenting a child. Hey, here's the thing again. That is not relevant to the Animal Crossing situation. I agree, OP did themselves a great disservice by compromising their position with that edit, okay? I don't think it's relevant. I think, like, you know, the issue of whether or not it should be able to be deleted is, you know, is separate from, oh, my kid is sick right now and she's over. I think how is it relevant? Because pissing off your co-parent is just going to make your kid's life worse. Yeah, extra drama doesn't matter when it's your ex you'll never see again, but it matters a lot when it's your kid's parent. Okay. You know what? You've convinced me a little bit at least. And then you've especially convinced me because the person who replied says, so everyone should cater to the person who likes to start drama. It's a little too much. I mean, I think both people should not care that. I mean, you know my philosophy, right? I try to avoid conflict except at the deli counter. He probably should have deleted, I don't know, maybe like Bayonetta 2 instead of Animal Crossing, knowing that there's a chance that the mother of his child would want to play it at some point, especially when she comes over to look after their sick kid. But at the same time, she hasn't played the damn game for 6 months. I don't think you get to come over and be like, oh, you deleted that? I was saving that for later. Like, no, you weren't. If you were saving it for later, really? Like, you were saving the thing in the fridge until the day that I threw it out because it went moldy? Like, after 6 months of not eating it, you were like, you know, oh, I was going to eat that for lunch today. Really? It's October. You bought it in April. So I'm kind of surprised that just the day that I happen to be like, I'm going to throw that out is the day that you're like, I'm really hungry for that specific thing. I'm also confused how she has access to the Switch. Are you still messing around with her? Are you still messing around with her? Holy. No, I'm at work and she's watching our sick kid because she has the day off. What a bitch. Oh, man. Not the asshole. She had enough time to solve the issue. I agree. Yeah. The people saying you're the asshole are crazy. You two are no longer a couple ABD. She expected you to hold on to something for over 6 months without having any contact. You owe her nothing. I mean, I'm like... Again, it's like it's all in absolutes. No, you kind of owe her something. Like, if you're co-parenting, you have a situation where it's like you owe each other like a certain degree of respect and keeping like an amenable relationship going. But then, like, you know, it's like they co-parent. That's true. I mean, I literally did just say that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but it's also an Animal Crossing save. It's not like he shot her car up with an AR-15 or something like that. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Maybe it is. But I'm like, it's not, okay? Because she didn't play for 6 months. All right? At the end of the day, if I have to make a stand, you had 6 months to get an SD card or something, to get a Nintendo Switch. You didn't talk about it at all. You weren't like, oh, I'm so jonesing for Animal Crossing. Then, like, the statute of limitations, like, has expired on it. You can't back up to an SD card? All right, well. What if it was Kate's? I would never delete my wife's Animal Crossing save, but that's because I'm smarter than the person who made this post. This guy is on. We're not equals. Don't compare us. Okay, I would. She's. I can hear her laughing in the other room.
Because you're smarter than this guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Why would you do? Why cause your life's hard enough? Why are you trying to cause problems for yourself by like deleting something that she wanted to save? Like, don't be stupid. Were you stupid to delete it? Yes, probably. Were you in the wrong? No, I think no. But still, I mean, you could have worked. There's such an easy workaround, right? Like, info. Who bought Animal Crossing? Like, this shit is just, I know, it's a bad look. Just go ahead. Don't even argue the point against me. Bad look, bad look, bad look. Number 101, bad look. It's a $60 game from almost 2 years ago and you have a child together. Info, who bought Animal Crossing? You ever see the photo of like that divorce court in 1999 where the couple's getting divorced but they can't figure out who should get the Beanie Babies? So they pour out the big bucket of Beanie Babies on the floor, and these two people who used to be in love, they were like building a life together. They said till death do us part, are on their hands and knees sorting through like doing a fantasy draft of the Beanie Babies. Because they think like, oh, I don't want her to get the Princess Diana Beanie Baby. This shit, like they didn't realize like in 6 months they were going to be worth like 75 cents each. It's just a big waste of everybody's time. It's the same energy. Who bought Animal Crossing? You have a kid. It's like 1 day of daycare. You're gonna get it. Go into your online banking, print out the receipts, get out the highlighter. Well, as you can see here, we used my MasterCard at Toys R Us in March 2000. This is not relevant. It's too much. It's simply too much. It only has 9 upvotes. Okay, I'm not gonna cry about it, but still. Am I the asshole for asking another player in Dungeons and Dragons to change the name of their character because it goes against my religion? You can have a name that goes against your religion? This one is dangerous and spicy. Hold on. Yeah, maybe they're like a devout Mormon and their name is Brewed Beverages. I just don't know. We're going to put up the spice veneer for a second. Did you know, I don't know how real this is, okay? But I saw this on Twitter filtered through TikTok. And it was like, tell me you're Mormon without telling me you're a Mormon. And then they said they used to get asked by their friends to do bed humping at BYU. So I said, okay, what the heck is... Because what it sounded like to me was... I'm familiar with the concept of soaking, where you're not allowed to have intercourse for pleasure, but you can insert a penis into a vagina. But it's illegal to thrust. That's right, jump humping. That's not bed humping. So what you do is you have two people soak and not move, because that's not okay. The Lord can see your intentions. But if you happen to be soaking and one of your friends that you asked jumps on the bed to generate some friction, who am I to stop them, right? Like, that's like a loophole where I guess God is like, you got me. That doesn't count as fucking somehow, so you're good. Like, don't worry about it. It's real. I'm not saying everybody does it, okay? But apparently this is like a real thing that happens in some university dorms. It's one of the funniest things just move your hips, man. Like, I get it. It's bad look. Mr. 101. Here comes Mr. 101 again. He's trying to criticize what? Like 50 million people worldwide or something like that. Like some kind of jerk. I'm just saying. You know... I'm not saying you should not be allowed to get salvation, but surely when you get audited at the start of heaven, you know, when you're at the gate and they're like, is your name on the list? They're going to be like, hey, you know, like when you were 18 and you were soaking and then you told your friends to like jump up and down on the bed, Just so you know, like for future reference, we totally like consider that fucking. You're not smart. You're not that smart. Like you can't just make up your own little rules down there on the big blue marble without running them up the chain to see if we approve them, right? Like you don't just get to decide that that's okay. You've got to you got to run it to the CEO to make sure it gets approval. Like, I think they're just going to be like, I think they should just let them know, like, you're not slick. I don't think they should lock the doors or you got to spend a decade in purgatory or whatever. I think you just got to, when you thought like you were getting away with it, you weren't getting away with it. We're just going to be cool about it, but like, don't do it again. Okay. That's all I'm saying about that. And also, you know how you're not supposed to have any brewed beverages, but then you made a loophole because the Mormon church they consume a lot of soda. They don't want to not consume soda, so instead we made it brewed caffeinated beverages. So then if you consume like a caffeine-free beverage, like a mug root beer, that's the same. Also, we knew what you were doing on that one. We want you to know we were also not cool with the mug root beers. Everything else is okay though. All right. Like, just be cool about it. Okay, sorry. I didn't even open the post I was supposed to check. One moment. I just want to see the name, okay? Ted decided to name his character after the true personal name of the Lord. If you don't know what that is, look it up and you'll find out. I can't say it or type it here. When I saw the name of Ted's character, I asked why he named it that. And he asked if I knew the true name. I said I did and said the name offended me and asked him to change it. He laughed and said I was being too sensitive. It's just a character. I said that naming a character that goes against my religion is offensive to me and asked him again to change it. The others got involved and sided with Ted and told me to lighten up. One of them said they didn't really care about his name, but they wanted to get on with playing, so stop delaying the game. For the rest of the night, I referred to Ted's character as Ted's character. When I did that, the others rolled their eyes, and the DM told me I was stupid. Look, I think it's a little silly. At the same time, can I be honest? Everybody sucks here. If I was playing a game with somebody and I named my character anything and they were like, oh, that offends me on like a religious level, I would be like, okay, now his name is Gomley or something like that. You just, why let it ruin? Why do people go out? They look forward to this shit like all week, and then when they go out, they're like, I'm going to take any excuse to like ruin my day. Like, what's wrong with you? You're trying to pick a fight with everybody that you meet. It's crazy, man. Oh my God, some of these are bad. Am I the asshole for not reporting a coworker for saying he'd like to see another coworker naked? Am I the asshole for telling my mom who takes care of my baby that she's replaceable? Okay, look, we're in a unique situation here. I feel like as a parent, I could possibly give some advice here. We got 5 minutes. Am I the asshole for telling my mom who takes care of my baby that she's replaceable? I've never gotten along with my mom. She gives nonstop unsolicited advice, obsesses about tiny things, and believes every conspiracy theory. I've tried my entire adult... Just say it. You know what that means. January 6th, she was at the Capitol. You can say it. I know that you're worried you don't want her to get in trouble with the law or whatever. You can go ahead and write it in there. We can all read between the lines. She was at the Capitol insurrection. I've tried my entire adult life to talk to her about how we could have a better relationship, but it hasn't worked yet. She shrugs off anything that would require her to change and keeps on keeping on. Before this year, we were low contact. Then I had a baby, and my mom became our full-time babysitter. We didn't ask her to do this. We could pay for childcare, but she rushed to volunteer because she's retired and has wanted a grandchild for a long time. In retrospect, it was probably a bad idea to start an everyday relationship with someone I've chosen to go low contact with. Everybody makes mistakes. There's some acknowledgement there. Sometimes this whole arrangement works. My kid loves her. We don't have to worry about a stranger taking care of our baby. COVID risk is minimized and it's free. And sometimes it doesn't. My mom argues with me about every single one of my parenting choices, even the ones that seem obvious, like no TV for the baby, no salt and sugar, my decision to breastfeed and then to wean, etc. That's annoying. Certainly. The other day, my mom asked if she could feed the baby a cookie. He's 6 months old and just started solids. That's too early. I appreciate a specific example here. That is too early to feed a baby a cookie. 6 months, they're eating like pureed peas and stuff like that. Put her in the gallows. I said no. A few minutes later, she asked again. Tell me I wasn't sitting in my car till 6:45. I said no. I went into another room, and when I came back, there was cookie dust all over the floor. I went to clean it up, saw there were cookie pieces in my baby's mouth. It was more crumbs than anything. It wasn't a choking hazard, but still, who feeds a baby cookies? I flipped a shit about how this was not okay. Then my mom started screaming back at me about how I was making a big deal out of nothing, how ungrateful I was that she was taking care of my kid, how much she'd sacrificed to be there for me during this time. I said sacrifice. I never asked you to sacrifice anything. I never asked her to take care of my baby. She volunteered. If she doesn't want to take care of him anymore, no one's forcing her. She demanded to know what I would do without her. Hire someone? Like I could find someone who does a better job than her? I said yes. If she doesn't want the job, I'm going to hire someone who listens to my basic rules, doesn't force me to watch them so they don't do crazy things like feed my baby cookies, doesn't spend all day giving me unsolicited advice and criticizing my parenting. I mean, I got to be honest, like if I wouldn't have known this like 2 years ago, right? Because I don't know when a baby eats whatever. I still don't really. But 6-month baby eating a cookie that's really bad. Like, I'm assuming it wasn't like, a huge cookie to begin with. But that's super early. That's not like my 5-year-old wants a sip of soda. And like I told them, if you do, you're not going to go to heaven. That's like... It's not as bad as giving them like a little, whiskey or something, but it's pretty bad. It has also like no nutritional value whatsoever. Like for our baby's first birthday, we gave her a cupcake. It was a big cupcake. She ate like 5% of it. But that's twice as old. She'd been eating solids for 6 months. And it was a special occasion, Feeding a baby a cookie at 6 months is a little too early for sure. Anyway. Plus at the Canucks game, we fed her some French fries. But in my defense, this is the only way to get her to shut up. So sue me. Whatever. She hasn't talked to me since, though. She's still coming over every day to take care of the baby. Win-win. My dad is demanding I apologize, and I get it. They are doing me a massive favor, and I am grateful, but I think I just told her the truth. This whole situation between me and her is untenable, and it would probably be better if I hired somebody else. You're not the asshole. I got to get out of here. Like, we got less than a minute before golf. But definitely not the asshole. You don't get to... I understand that you're like, I'm looking after the baby. I should have some agency, but like, don't care, didn't ask. Plus, you're not the parents. So it's kind of too bad. Like, I hate to say it. Even if the mom was like, the kid's 2 years old and they're like, you can't have sugar. I mean, I guess this is where I become like the asshole yet again, right? Because I'm like, you just take the kid out for a walk and give him a cookie then. Well, mama don't know won't hurt her. And I don't know, Kate, if you're in the same boat. Maybe we have a philosophical difference. But like, that's how I feel about daycare. And the daycare provider, when we were there, they were eating like nutritious stuff for lunch. They were eating some, red peppers, like some roasted eggplants and stuff like that. And I'm like, maybe once every 6 weeks, if they end up going through the McDonald's drive-thru and getting a Happy Meal, they told us that, she just ate oatmeal for lunch, I'd be like, but I don't know, don't hurt me. As long as she comes home safe and sound, and it's not a regular habit, but You know, especially within the domain of the parent, within the parent's home, you don't get to ask, and then when they give you the answer you don't want, then feed the baby a cookie anyway. It's kind of crazy. You know, I mean, it's just very stupid, essentially. That being said, yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen if you live, you know, you have your grandma looking after your kid for free. I don't take my kid to McDonald's, man. She's not gonna eat a chicken nugget. Maybe a couple of French fries, but a chicken nugget? Like, are you crazy? That's you gotta take it home. You gotta cut it up into like thin strips. Rather just come home and give her like a pouch of pureed prunes. Which dip though? Come on, it's got to be sweet and sour. I'm not saying it's a sauce only for babies, but I think it's the most amenable for babies.